Now, beauties and cuties, there is nothing wrong with routine. I myself like a little structure in my life. I have a morning routine, a skincare routine, night routine. However, routines can be really dangerous. And if you live your whole life as a routine, 24/7, 365 days a year.
Coming to bed, honey?
Yes, dear.
You have to change that. We have to get you out of that rut because there are so many dangers to living your life in routine. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you 4 reasons why routines can be potentially dangerous. So let's get into it. The first reason why routines can be potentially dangerous is because you won't get out of your comfort zone. There is nothing wrong with comfort. We love to live comfortable, cute lives. But being in your comfort zone 24/7, 7 days a week, you won't have a lot of motivation to grow. You won't have a lot of motivation to challenge yourself. You won't have a lot of motivation to do scary things. And I think doing scary things every once in a while really makes you feel alive. I'm not an adrenaline junkie by no means, but I think spicing life up here and there with doing challenging or maybe even crazy, risky things can be very fun. And I think your comfort zone prevents you from adventuring out into the world. Also, comfort zones really keep you rooted in your ways. You won't do things differently. Everything in life comes with balance. When you have excess of doing routines, that could be a breeding ground for a lot of complacency, a lot of stagnation with yourself and your own personal growth. Because again, I feel like we as human beings, we want to grow, we want to evolve in this world. And I think we all have the potential to change so many times. But if you're always staying in your comfort zone, how do you expect to change and challenge yourself? How do you expect to evolve and grow? The second reason why routines can be potentially dangerous is because they will make you less attentive and more complacent. Routines get you out of the present moment because when you are in routine, you start to go on autopilot. Your brain just starts to move with muscle memory and you don't really need to use your thinking mind to accomplish these routines. And if you live your whole life in one gigantic routine, that means you're shutting your critical thinking brain off, which prevents you from totally being in the moment, from totally experiencing life. Because again, when you are on this autopilot kind of mindset, you start to move throughout life like a robot. We are not robots, we are human beings. And in order to be, you have to be present. Also, it'll make you more complacent. As I said earlier, you won't have that motivation to grow. And also challenging things to you will be turn-offs. But I think the most challenging things can be the most rewarding things when you accomplish them. So many things in my life that were very challenging, such as, for example, making YouTube videos. Definitely out of my comfort zone, putting myself out there like this. Definitely out of my comfort zone to speak to a camera. However, as time went on and I got better at speaking to camera and making YouTube videos and editing, I really began to like it and I actually feel so achieved for having taken this on because making videos is no easy feat. You have to do so many things. You have to wear so many hats when you're in the position as a content creator. But again, I wouldn't trade it for the world because it's challenged me in so many ways that I am so grateful for. It's challenged me as a graphic designer. It's challenged me as a video editor. It's challenged me as a public speaker. Sometimes there's obstacles when I make videos, such as like lighting problems, or maybe the audio is fucked up. But I think when I overcome those hurdles, I prove to myself that I am capable of accomplishing many great and awesome things. And I think everyone needs to experience that. But only when you get outside of your routine. You need to spice things up. You need to challenge yourself on a daily basis, beauties and cuties. The third reason why routines can be very potentially dangerous is because when you have too much structure in your life, you become very rigid You become not very fun. I personally believe that there should be always a balance between many things, everything in moderation. I am totally not against routines. However, I feel like life should be lived in a balance between spontaneity and routines and structure. When you ebb and flow between spontaneity and structure, that spices life up. Again, for me, I have a skincare routine I always do. I have a meditation routine I always do as acts of self-care for myself. However, when it comes to daily stuff, such as like driving back home, I always try to take a different route. That's one way I like to switch up things in little ways, because I think something as mundane as driving home, you can get rooted into specific streets you like to take in specific ways. However, the reason why I like to choose different ways to get home or take different streets or routes is because it gets me out of that routine that is so natural for us to be susceptible to. However, I think that little act of switching things up keeps things different. Every day feels different when I do things differently, such as driving home different ways, or I like to go running, and sometimes I take different routes with that too. I feel like it creates new neural pathways in my brain and it doesn't get me so stuck or stagnant. Because you see, when your life is so structured and planned out, it really gets you into a place of stagnation. You will never experience the plethora, the diversity, the options that life has to offer. That's why I've learned to appreciate spontaneity over the years. Every once in a while, beauties and cuties, go out there, live your life, have fun. Because it's okay to deviate from structure. And I feel like a lot of people who love routine and structure feel this resistance towards deviating out of it, because then they think once they try to get back into their routines, it's gonna be hard for them. But no, your structures, your routines will always be there. However, spontaneous moments that come up or spontaneous opportunities that present themselves to you don't come as often. Those are kind of once in a lifetime things. I like to view them that way because it's so true. You will never get those spontaneous moments as often, especially when you grow older. So you might as well seize the moment now while you're young. And even regardless of age, you could still be spontaneous. You could still do the things that light you up or that make you feel alive, whatever they may be. As long as you sprinkle a little spontaneity and fun here and there, along with your routines, I think everything in moderation, everything in balance can be a beautiful thing. Yeah. And the fourth and final reason why routines can be potentially dangerous is because routines can breed laziness. You are kind of going through the motions of life on autopilot and you feel jaded. A symptom of laziness is also feeling jaded. You don't feel energized. You don't feel the vitality that everybody has access to. We have vitality and energy running through our bodies all the time, but it's up to us to really access that. But if that energy gets constricted and confined in routine, it'll start to slow down. And it'll start to breed a lot of laziness. And that translates to so many things in life, not just your routines. But that laziness could be very detrimental to your relationships because you'll start to not make efforts to go out because it is outside your comfort zone. And then you'll start to lose friends and maybe family members you're close to because you are lazy. I've seen that happen with a lot of different types of people in my life who are rooted in their comfortable ways, that they actually lose relationships. It's actually very sad because they don't want to make the effort to drive to a certain place or to meet up with somebody because it would just mess with their daily routine. And I think that's bullshit. Happiness really comes in this lifetime, first of all, from within. But second of all, happiness comes from the relationships we cultivate and nurture. From our family, to our friends, to even our coworkers or whoever. I think relationships give people purpose in this lifetime. And if you let the routine of your daily life dissolve your motivation to connect with people, honey, that's a huge problem. That laziness will translate into jadedness. And nobody wants to hang out with a jaded person. I feel like the most magnetic and attractive people are people with high vibrational, positive energy, and just energetic in general. They have that flow moving through their body. And like I say in so many videos, everything is energy. So bottom line, if you're finding yourself living your life in one huge, gigantic routine, get out of there. Get out right now. I'm begging you to get out because life is meant to be lived. There's so much out there that you have yet to experience, and you just have to get out there. You have to explore, adventure, because we only have this one life. You know, life is very short, life is very fleeting. You'd be doing yourself a huge disservice if you just kept yourself cooped up in a daily routine for the rest of your life. I think that would be a very depressing and sad existence, and I don't want that for you beauties and cuties. Not saying for you to totally abandon your morning routines or whatever routines you have. It's good to maintain some structure, but ebb and flow with spontaneity and structure. Have a good balance. That is the main message. All in all, everything in moderation is good. And if those routines are serving your growth and personal development, then keep them. But don't be afraid to live your life. Don't be so comfortable in any type of routine you do for yourself. I think it's a beautiful thing when you get to do things differently, when you get to wake up to a new day and choose a different path and a different road or a different way to get to work. We are so blessed with choices. Anyways, beauties and cuties, if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And also be sure to follow your favorite internet gunkle on Instagram and TikTok right here. And I'll see you in the next video. Spice it up, beauties and cuties. And remember, gunkle loves ya. Bye.